Welcome, everyone. We are live, and it is Thursday. My, how quickly Thursday has approached, or so it felt. Anyhow, remember that song from way back in the day? Listen to your heart. You know that song? Listen, when you listen to different scientists, they talk about the Heart Math Institute, they talk about the studies that they've done that shows that the heart knows things. It has more conductivity than the brain. And, it just seems to know what is going on. Now, we would be tempted to think that it is the physical heart, right? We'd be tempted to think that. But if we remember the principle of correspondence, as within, so without, the body must always show you what the mind is doing. Let's not confuse mind and brain. The brain is something we can see. Oh, well, I can't see my brain, Angela. It's ensconced inside my skull. Your brain is an organ. They have Einstein's brain, allegedly, in a big thing where you can see it. I'm like, your brain is visible. The mind, on the other hand, is invisible. In order to know what the invisible is doing, you have to see it visibly. So, the mind, what is mind? Yeah, a little bit is telling us that the all is mind. The universe is mental. The mind. The mind is your awareness of yourself. What do you mean, Angela? My awareness of myself. What are you doing right now? Where are you right now? Are you driving? Are you walking? Are you sitting down? Are you eating your breakfast? What are you doing? You are aware of what you are doing. So much so that Neville Goddard says, I can forget who I am. Alzheimer's, you can forget who you are. You can forget where you are, amnesia. But you will always know that you are. How so? Oh my God, I forgot my name. Oh my God, I forgot where I was going. Who forgot? I forgot. That is your awareness. When you hear people talk about, your awareness, your consciousness, it's nothing fancy. It just simply means you are aware of yourself, where you are, what you're doing. Because if I ask you, what are you doing? What's the first thing you say? I am ... You're going to always respond to I am. That is your mind. Yes? In traditional Chinese medicine, because that's my background, the heart houses the mind. That is what we are taught in traditional Chinese medicine. But that's all we're taught in traditional Chinese medicine, that the heart houses the mind. But how does the heart house the mind? So when you get scientists saying to you, the heart seems to know more that's going on than we do at this time, meaning this experiment they did, and they showed people, I think there was 5 seconds between images that were upsetting, images that were pleasing. It just flashed them every 5 seconds, and you had to push a button, I think. So what they noticed was you were able to predict what the next image would be, if it would be shocking or calming or beautiful. You were able to predict what it was. But how? You see, that mind, that awareness, that consciousness, all the same word, interchangeable, sees more, hears more, knows more, because it is not bound by physical space and time. It is above those things. It is beyond those things. We, on the other hand, have these physical bodies. And this is why sometimes we fall for the illusion that we are limited. You see, this is what Confucius meant when he says you can traverse the whole world without ever having to leave your house. Well, how would you possibly traverse the whole world without having to leave your house? Can you search it on Google? You can, people say, well, I can astral project. What are you astrally projecting? Because you can't take your body. You're not taking your body. So what are you taking? Your awareness, your mind, aka your heart. But why the heart? You see, when we learned that the heart houses the mind is anchored by blood. Remember the principle of correspondence, as within, so without. When there seems to be some kind of what we would call in Western medicine a psychosis, listen to the word psychosis, psyche. Psyche again is another word for mind. If the body is somehow out of balance, because blood anchors. In traditional Chinese medicine, blood is life. Because without it flowing, that's where chi and blood, the energy that you can't see chi, but if you remember the principle of correspondence, you will understand what chi is. Chi is invisible. But to get a sense of the invisible, the visible must be there, which is blood. So, blood goes up to the heart, the organ that pumps, that's how we see it. It just pumps. But invisible, that invisible function is powered. You see, the visible function, my bad, is powered by the invisible. The awareness, the consciousness, the heart. It is powered by that. So much so, when you go to a funeral, Bobby, he gone. He gone. What's gone? The body is clearly there. So what is no longer in that body? The mind is no longer in that body. But the awareness, the mind, does not stop. It is now aware of being somewhere else. That's what makes it immortal. So the physical heart shows you the invisible workings of your consciousness. When you feel sad, you feel happy, you feel discombobulated. When you feel those things, you are aware of feeling them. You are what now? Aware. You are aware. So when you hear that the heart, that if you could remember the principle of correspondence, you will understand, comprehend that the heart shows. It shows you what you are aware of. That's why you can sense things. You see, the sense, we say we have 5 senses, and then we have the 6th sense. Truthfully, there's only one sense. Your awareness. Your awareness of your very existence, yourself. Because that 6th sense is invisible. It is invisible, yet you can experience something in your body that says, oh, something else is going on. And which organ does that? Your heart does. You see, the principle of correspondence is such a beautiful thing, as within, so without. This is why when we deal with emotions in traditional Chinese medicine, each organ, each physical organ has an invisible way The liver deals with anger, frustration, repressed emotion. You can't see those things, they're invisible until the body acts. And when the body acts in a particular way, spleen deals with pensiveness, which is the extreme form of worry. The lungs, they're physical, but non-physical. Grief, you can't see grief, but you experience it. So you feel it in the lungs and the chest. It knocks you up, it tightens you up in there. So it is always that principle of correspondence at work when you are seeking to comprehend that which you cannot see. If you will observe what you can see, you will interpret. This is where the consciousness, the awareness, the mind, the heart, all of those words mean exactly the same thing. If you comprehend as within, so without, as above, so below. So when you're walking down the street and walking down the street, da, 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 do a dee dee dum dee do, you know that song? Because you'll remember. But when you're walking down the street and you get a what? A sense. You get a what? A sense, a feeling. It shows up in your body, which is telling you that yourself, not Angela, not George, but the self, the thing that has no name, is aware of something else going on. And this is why we listen to it. Because it is telling you. You know, when you say, I felt a certain way, I felt something in my body, the hairs on the back of my head stood up. You felt something. You knew somebody was going to do something before they did it. Because that part of yourself, that awareness, that consciousness, it has to show itself in the body for you to register what is going on. That's why it shows up. And the heart, where it is anchored by blood, that awareness, because you're alive. So the physical form is anchored by the invisible. And remember the principle of cause and effect. Every cause has its effect, and every effect has its cause. If blood is deficient, not the volume of your blood, because we all have the same, we have the same amounts of pints. It's not deficient in its volume, right? It is deficient in its function. Something going on physically in the body has impeded. It's impeded the functionality. So when you look at what is deficient, you can see why, and it will always stem right back to that which you are aware of being. When you say, oh, I am so tired, the body's fatigued. So why are you overworking? What's causing you to overwork? Man, I got so many jobs. I gotta work here, I gotta work there, I gotta pay these bills, blah, 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 blah. Right. Look at the underlying part that you cannot see. Because you are aware of it, but just not on the surface. But if you take some time, you see, this is where meditation. Now, we think meditation is woo-woo, new age. Meditation is the art or the practice of listening to your heart. Don't you want to know? Well, I want to develop my intuition. Your inner knowing, you already know. The Heart Math Institute has the scientific experiments to back it. But we already know it's there through the principles, correspondence, cause and effect. We already know that they exist. But what we don't know is how, Esther Hicks always says, tuned in, tapped in, and turned on. How do you tune into it? By quieting the self. Have you ever experienced, I know you have because we all have. How can I be so sure? Well, have you ever said, whoo, I am so glad I listened. Look at how good that turned out. Or perhaps you said, oh, shoot, I should have listened because, that wouldn't have happened if I'd have just listened to what I heard. You see that? What do you think that is? That is your sixth sense. Even in the midst of danger, and that sixth sense, the invisible, speaks to you, it does so in a very calm and soothing way. Ponder that for a moment. Even if it says, get out of here now, this calm comes over you and you get out. You talk to people who experience and they'll tell you, oh my God, I felt so calm and at ease, but I knew I had to escape. And I saw my path of escape real easy and I got out of there so fast. But in the height of that, where you have the physical manifestation, which would be the adrenaline, norepinephrine, fight or flight. You see, fight or flight appears to just happen. You know how your breathing changes based upon what you're doing? Your mood will change your breathing. Oh, yes. Why? Because the inner self knows what is happening and senses things and then alerts the body. Your blood pressure regulates itself because, cause and effect, because that inner, which is the mind, the consciousness, the awareness, the heart, tells it what is happening. So when you are aware of something, the body responds in kind, as within, so without. So if you are constantly telling yourself, I'm anxious. You see, we tell ourselves habitually because we do it the same way every time. Oh my God, I'm anxious. Oh my God, I'm depressed. Now we form a habitual way of doing things. And what must the body do? Because it obeys. The body now complies with that feeling that you say you have. And so what will it look like? An increased heart rate, sweating. It will feel like you can't get out of bed. Not because really there's anything wrong with you. You see, the moment we hear, oh, there's something wrong with you, that comes. That awareness, there's something wrong with you. Your body now has to register what that thing is that is quote unquote wrong. So that you can confirm and say, yeah, you see, it's wrong. Oh my God, I got a chemical imbalance in my brain. No, you don't. You are aware of something, and your body is showing you what you are presently aware of. So how do you listen to your heart? You take some time. You see, we are creatures of habit. So the more you practice something, for instance, if you say to yourself, I'm going to sit here for 15 minutes every day at 3 o'clock. Do you know, by the end of the week, you will not even have to look at your clock, your watch. You won't have to set a timer because at 10 to 3, your body begins to relax, to accommodate the habit you just formed, which is to sit quietly at 3 p.m. It's just like if you tell yourself, I want to get up at 4 o'clock. 3:55. You're awake. And you're like, dude, how did I not need an alarm? Because you told yourself what time to get up. Yourself, your awareness, your consciousness can tell time. You look at the time, you set your timer. You looked at it with those eyes. Who saw it? I did, which would be you. You saw that time and you told your body, I confirm this is the time. Remember cause and effect. Every effect, the effect is the time that you want to get up at. So you register that time in your mind's where? In your mind's eye, your consciousness. And then when that time rolls around, you'll get a warning, 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 warning. And you'll jump out of bed. Kind of like what happened to me this morning. My alarm went off at 4:30 a.m. Okay. Mountain Standard Time. And I said, "Whoo, girl, you got to get up and go get ready and feed these chickens. You got to get up and get dressed." And I said, "But just a few more minutes. Just a few more minutes." And I fell asleep. But then something happened. I sprang out of bed at 4:45, 5 minutes before my next alarm, because I got two set, 4:30, 4:50. Because I made that agreement with myself. Well, I didn't make that agreement with George. I made the agreement with myself, my awareness, my mind, my heart, my consciousness. And I said, I'm getting up at this time. And so the body, as within, so without, it complies. So what are you telling yourself? What are you confirming every day with your consciousness? What are you conditioning your consciousness to do? You are conditioning the consciousness. You're telling it, here's what we're going to do. And your body says, I agree. As within, so without, as above, so below. And your body says, I am in agreement with that. And so now the body has to show the evidence of what you agreed. Now, how do you do that, Angela? Don't think I forgot to tell you how to listen to your heart. We didn't get there yet, but hold on. How do you do that? The body complies. It listens to you. You see, you have ears to hear. To hear. Hearing is an external thing, but listening is internal. As within, so without. Yes? So as you listen to what you're telling yourself, so you see how we talk to ourselves all the time? What are you saying to yourself that you're making your body comply with? Oh my God. Nobody likes me. I can't even make any friends. Oh, is that what you're saying to yourself? Then your body has to get a little anxious when you get around people because you're waiting for the evidence that confirms that nobody likes you. I had a man come into the store last night. And every time the door chimes, I say, hello, every time, because I match the tone of the door. Listen, don't ask questions that you don't want the answers to. I match the tone of the door and I say, hello. And he says to me, well, how are you? I said, I'm good. I said, how are you? He goes, I'm okay. I said, just okay? I said, come now, just okay? I said, I'll meet you at the till when you're ready. So I go up to the till. And he says to me, every time I come here, he said, you're so nice. He goes, I was having a hard day, but then you said hello and you smiled and you made me feel better. He goes, you're such a ray of sunshine. So ray of sunshine, if you're listening in these YouTube streets, he called me a ray of sunshine. I thought of you right away. And he says, he says, how do you do that? I said, well, honestly, you never know what kind of day anybody's having. Why would I want to add to the crap day you've had? I said, that's not my role in this world. He goes, well, I appreciate that. I said, honey, when you get home, put your feet up and just relax. He goes, you know what? Thank you for that. And I was like, anytime. Anytime. Intuitively, because that's what that quote unquote sixth sense is, intuition, inner knowing, as within, so without. Hello. Inner knowing, outer doing, in, out. Yes? I knew. It's not a brag because it isn't. How do you get there? How do you develop the intuition? The intuition is already there. You just got to pay attention to feel it, to sense it. Remember, I told you there's 2 times when you say, oh my God, I'm so glad I listened. And the other time is, oh my God, I should have listened. See that? It has a feeling so that you always know when the awareness, the heart is speaking. So if you sit down and just breathe, you think you have to do something? You think you have to sit in a lotus position? You got to be like Buddha? No, you just got to sit down and hush. Something I don't do very often, which is hush, but I digress. You just have to sit down and hush and breathe. Nothing else. Just breathe. Yeah, but nothing is happening. Hush. And just breathe. Now, what do you want to accomplish when you sit there in that silence? But tell yourself, I want to hear you. I want to feel you. I want to get a sense of you. I want to recognize you. Who you recognizing? Yourself. Huh? Huh? You want to recognize yourself. So you sit there and you breathe and just do it the same time every day for the same amount of time. Why? Because that is a habit, and a habit will compel you to continually do it. Smoking, drinking, sex, habits. You'll be compelled to do it, and we'll call it an addiction. We're so fancy with our words. So now this is why people think sometimes that their addiction rules them. When in actuality, if you understood what it was, you would know that it does not rule you because you made it. You can make another. So you see how you do it now? You sit still and you hush. And the moment you tell yourself you're going to sit still, your leg starts to itch. You get a little thirsty. Oh, I gotta pee. Because we've never practiced the art of just sitting there and doing nothing. Oh my God, I'm wasting time. I feel so lazy. No. Just take the time and practice just sitting there. Same time every day. Why? I told you, if you do it the same time every day, you condition the body to be that thing. Because now what are you doing inside your brain? That's right, setting down a neurological pathway inside the brain so that when you know it's 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, whatever time you decide, your body says, we got something to do. That's why you pick the time you can commit to. I can commit to 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's why I'm always here, because I can commit to this time. And that's why I'm not all over the place. I chose a time that I could remain faithful to. And you see, sometimes we think we don't know how to follow through. You just haven't picked the right time. Oh my God, this other man came in. My coworker came to get me because he couldn't understand what the man was asking. He says, I'm looking for strawberry wine. I said, what country is it from? He goes, well, I don't know. He goes, I heard the song. I said, strawberry wine, 70. He goes, yeah, that's the song. I said, and you came in here looking for strawberry wine? I said, well, you take suggestions easily then, don't you? He goes, I know. And I gave him the 2 options that we had. But they were sangria, strawberry watermelon, and strawberry cherry. And he read the back and he goes, I'm going to try these 2. Because he heard the song. Strawberry wine. And he came in looking for it. So you see, he became aware of something. And his, as my grandmother would say, my spirit didn't rest. His spirit didn't rest until he found what he was looking for. As within, so without. You are driven to do that which is within you. And you seem to think it is new age and woo woo. Nah, it's right there and it happens every single day. We do it and we live it. Let me check the time. Because you know one of us can talk all morning. Ooh, mm, I am over time. But let me sit up and get into the chat real quick. Because you know how we roll. Okay, we're good. We're good. We are good, y'all. I'm not going to keep you longer than I already have. But I trust that this glorious Thursday, you now know how to what? Listen to your heart when it's calling for you. You see, we seem to think that that has something to do with a man or a woman. It has nothing to do with a man or a woman. It has to do with you paying attention. You know, there's this fear sometimes that says, uh, if you don't use it, you will lose it. You cannot lose yourself. Somebody asked a while back ago in these Reddit streets, how can I hear the voice of God? I feel so far from God. Well, that's because you think God is outside of you, far away from. But if you would recognize that God, aka the heart, the awareness, the consciousness, the mind, if you would understand that that's what God is, you would change your perspective, would you not? Oh, but we're not ready for that part yet, are we? Because when you start to say that, some people, ooh, they get a little angry and they call you blasphemous. But I want you to ask yourself a question. You want to learn. Learning does not come through, well, let me not say does not. What you learn is dependent upon how you're taught. If fear is used to teach you, well, every cause has its effect and every effect has its cause. If fear is the tool that is used to teach you, then you become fearful. Because it is what is being used. You are not meant to be afraid, my friends. You're not meant to live in such a fashion. So, oh, but God's going to punish you. What? Punish? So, what is it that you're supposed to learn? If you're supposed to learn something and punishment is the tool to teach, this is why when you send a man to prison, he becomes harder. How can you get rehabilitation out of punishment? You're training him to do what? To not get caught again. So you're training him how to become more cunning, more wily. But if you want to teach him how to quote unquote be a better human being, you've got to use something else as a tool of education. So, quote unquote, God wants me to learn love. Well, then God can't say to me, if you don't love me, you will burn for all eternity. Now, what does that do to you? It makes you second guess your every action, dividing you. Is this the right thing? Is this the wrong? I see it all. I told you I got banned from that group in Reddit because of the kinds of questions people ask. Fear-based questions. Yeah, but I sin every day. I'm such a sinner. I'm so dirty. I'm like, whoa, slow your roll. Look at that attitude that you have now that you're conscious of. You are aware of being dirty and a sinner. And what's the first thing you're going to do? Oh, Lord, here comes guilt and here comes shame, it's sister. Guilt and shame. Ooh. And when they start talking to you, those two, well, oh, really? Oh, you think you're good? But look at you. Look at you. You're a bad boy. Look at how you're thinking about this person. Look at how you're thinking about that person. You can't get close to God with that attitude. Ow. Aw, you think you can walk into this room and hold your head up? No, you cannot. You look down right now. You're not worthy. See? That's what guilt and shame do to you. You're not designed to walk under such a burden. But if you know that the all is mind, the mind is the heart, listen to it. It will guide you every single time. And I told you how it guides you. Oh my God, I'm so glad I listened. Or, ah, shoot, I should have listened. I should have gone left when it told me to. And now I'm in this predicament. So now what do we need to do? Need to, Angela? I only need to stay black and die. That's what we used to say in the Caribbean. But need to take some time and just sit. But Angela, my ADHD, my ADD is set up in such a way. My OCD, Angela. Okay. So you have told yourself, because you heard somebody tell you, here are the symptoms of ADHD. Remember how the man heard strawberry wine and came in and had to have it? Okay, then. You think that you and I are immune to that? No. The body was designed to take suggestion as within, so without. Okay. So find a time of day that you can commit to. And if you can manage 2 minutes, do 2 minutes. There's no shame in 2 minutes. You know why? Because 2 minutes is cumulative. Cumulative? Yes. You remember that movie, Ants, when the grasshopper, he was talking to the others in the grasshopper bar, and they were like, oh, what can one ant do to us? He's just one little ant. But that Hopper says, he popped open the cork and one acorn flew out and hit the guy in the head. He goes, yeah, that's just one ant. He goes, but if that one ant encourages all the other ants, and then he popped the cork on that acorn container, all the acorns come rolling out. That is cumulative. It builds upon itself and it becomes greater. It has a snowball effect. Do you understand? So that every day, the same time, for the same amount of time, that you sit and you just breathe, before you enter that place, the Bible says to you, that inner sanctuary, into that holy place. When you go into that place and you sit there, tell yourself what you want to accomplish. Suggest it, because we take suggestion, don't we? You say, you know what? I know what she's talking about those 2 times. I want to hear it and feel it and know it, so that every time I hear it and feel it and know it, I know myself. I know what I sound like. I know what I feel like. Now, why is it important to know what you sound and feel like? Oh, man, know thyself. My father says that to me all the time. Know thyself. Why is that important to know yourself? So when something that is not you, uh, I'll leave it like that. I'll let it hang there for a minute. Get to know yourself. Because when you know yourself, something greater begins to happen within you. Don't you want to know what that greater is? Well, start. Choose the same time every day, same duration of time. Choose the time. You look at your calendar, look at what you got going on in your life, and say, I can commit 3 minutes every Friday at this time. And you start there. And you say, you know what? Because something begins to happen to you. Oh, yes. A stirring, if you will, starts to happen inside of you. And you get more curious and you say, ooh, let me spend some more time with myself. And you, oh, I can do Thursdays at this time. You know what? Yes. I can do the whole week, this time, same duration of time. And when you start to do it, you're going to realize something. I cannot tell you what you're going to realize, other than you will discover the self that you had submerged so long under all the noise of the world. Anywho, listen to your heart. You know how to do it now, right? And now that you know how to do it, let me say hello to everybody who's in the space today. I know there's a couple people here on YouTube and Facebook, but you haven't made yourselves known. So I'm going to presume that the better man is here. I'm going to presume that my dear Herbal, aka Liza, is here. Maybe even Melly Mel, Ray of Sunshine. Hello, maybe even Cyber. K-Frame. I don't know, but I'm hollering at you because this is where you normally are. Twitter. Twitter was bumping for a little bit today. Miss Tiffany and Javion were here, but school and work. And Bez, he's here. Because Twitter usually is a replay gang, but we're popping today on Twitter. Now, who's here? A fan base with us. Jessamine is here. My sweet KZ. Ray Ray is in the house. Moon and Dolphin Duck. Summer Rose is here. Grams, I know you are probably crowing in the background because that's you always trying to rile up my rooster first thing in the morning. I see you, baby. He says hello. Michael is here. My sweet Miss McQueen is here. Big Mike is in the house. I see you all. Listen, thank you for being here and spending, according to YouTube, 41 minutes so far with your girl. Thank you for being here and spending that time with us because Lord knows the bed is warm and sometimes we could be sleeping in a little longer. So I respect that. And I trust, above all else, that you will be encouraged to practice and not fret. King David said, "Thy word I have hidden in my heart, that I may not sin against you." Do you know what that means? To hide a word in your heart. You spend time with yourself. And he also says, "I will meditate on your word." Why meditate? Because we learn when we meditate. But because the word meditation has become bastardized, it doesn't have a meaning anymore. Everybody just throws it out there. We think it's new age. No. Even if you sit in the bathtub, same time every day, same duration of time, that is meditation. Just breathe. Just breathe. We're going to sing some Faith Hill. You understand. You comprehend. Don't let me hold you up. Thank you all for being here. Grams, are you? Come. Because I know you're going to act a fool, Grams.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
You see, that's because I know Grams. That's because I know Grams. Grams, I love you, baby. Anyhow, everybody. Anyhow.
Good morning, Angela. Can I just tell you, that was such a timely message for me, and thank you so, so much. I'm going to affect my world.
Well, hey. You know it. The word is always on time when one is requiring it. I love it. Thank you, Michael. Grams, I see you, baby. Listen. I love you guys so much. Listen. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you all for being here on this glorious day. Indeed. Thank you. I will see you again because it's going to be Friday tomorrow. And I will see you here right at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter fan base. And we'll get it popping again. So practice. Practice and see. Oh, taste and see. Taste and see what you've got going on inside. Okay? I love you all.
Peace out, everybody. Peace out.